I'm showing my electroculture project. I put these rods in last year, or doweling with the copper wire antenna on the top pointing north. This is an experiment that I did. One of the rods broke off, and then I separated them, put a squealy copper wire in between them, or left it, and planted the onions all at the same time. Now you can see how much bigger the onions in between the two electroculture rods are doing, how much bigger they're doing, and the wire was like, you can see it there, it's right above the ground. This is continual progress, and they're more than twice as tall already, and this is a couple 3 weeks into now. This is quite a bit later, but you can see that they're way bigger. You can't even see the other ones. I'm going to repeat, like I'll show this on video later on. So weird mushroom. And here's more of the garden. This is mostly garlic and my original box, tomatoes growing. This year, this long box is doing much better. Got lettuce, got flowers, three different types of flowers, lettuce, roll carrots, onions, spinach there, some more carrots, got a tomato plant, that's potatoes, and some carrots, onions right on the very end. That's just because I had extra onions. I put it in that dirt. That dirt is for hilling the potatoes. And this little one, I got lettuce and carrots and onions. And notice, now I bent these onions over a couple times. You're supposed to do that. It makes the onion itself grow bigger. But in between these two there's copper, and there's a squiggly copper line connecting those two doweling. Notice how much bigger these onions are than the ones, you can barely see them, the ones that don't have the copper wire, all seeded at the same time. And here, this next box, I got seed carrots. So those are carrots that will grow seeds because I planted them from a carrot. Got a cherry tomato plant there, more garlic, and I harvested spinach already, then planted some more, and I harvested lettuce. I'm going to let this lettuce get just a little bit bigger. As my cat always comes to check out things when I'm at the garden. It feels comfortable in the garden area. And here's the original garden box. We've harvested quite a asparagus from in there. It's more growing again, and I seeded mostly garlic last fall. Garlic in the fall. This is like Russian scarlet something. This mint is growing from in between the cracks in the two boards. I don't know what my dog's doing. He's making a lot of noise. Walking through the trees. Yeah, I got a regular tomato plant there, and there, that one's not doing very good. I got 3 tomatoes on the one plant, and then more mint there. That's spearmint. So if people are wondering what that is, that's electroculture rods. It's a doweling with copper wire. You got this pigtail on the top. That's an antenna. It's supposed to be pointing north. Got some crystal in the middle, the quartz, and then the squiggly all the way down into the ground of copper, and that brings energy to the soil. It's really old technology making a comeback. And then this one just has a little one because it broke off, and then I made it into 2. That one has a pretty good size one, and then this other garden box has one on each end. So I got a tomato plant. It's doing really good, that tomato plant right beside that rod. Here's a look at my garden. It is July 8th. Sun just going down. It's about a little after 9. There's my potatoes. They're doing pretty good. I put these extension boards and then filled it up with dirt, not all the way to the top yet. I can, and then it'll just make more potatoes. These are flowers, 3 different types of flowers. They're just starting to get, I see flower there. So, not sure what those are called, but now a tip, that's a tomato, just this is my most healthy tomato plant, but it doesn't have any tomatoes yet. And my other two that are looking like they're suffering have tomatoes. So the carrots in the back, some spinach. I picked most of it. It starts going to seed when it's hot, like really early. The lettuce is doing really good. I've cut quite a bit of that. Now the onions, you can see how they're bent over. That's an old farmer's trick that you walk on them. You can walk if you can walk. If you can't walk, you just push them down like that flat, and then they'll make bigger onions. It won't all go to the stems. I've done it several times, and these guys just keep popping up. Like they're really healthy. And it might have something to do with that electroculture. So I'm going to push these down again before I water this box. And I'll show you the other boxes. In between those two rods grew way bigger. Now that one's finally catching up, but I have been pushing those ones down too. They're definitely way bigger. Actually, the other ones are really stunted. Those ones are pretty big. Lettuce, I've harvested quite a bit. This is actually second growth, and it's already catching up. It's big, and that's I kind of cut off of that plant. I should have cut it off. But back over here is this tomato. It's a cherry tomato. It does have one. Oh, it's got a few actually. It's got some tomatoes there and flowers. The other one's getting flowers. These tall things here are carrots. So I replanted. What you do is you stick a carrot in the dirt, and like one of last year's carrots. And so these are purple, and then they will go to seed. They won't grow a carrot, and then these make like almost like a sunflower. This is spinach that has gone to seed. I'm just going to let it keep going to seed, all of it. I reseeded some little stuff there, but it's going just before it can get the very big leaves because it's so hot. It goes to seed. In the back is garlic. A few of the garlics I left these things. They like turn into flowers, I think. There's seeds in there. But you're supposed to trim them off, and it gives more energy, kind of like stepping on the onions. But I just wanted to do a comparison. It is the original box garden that my friend Mackenzie helped build, and it has mint. Transplanted a mint plant. It was there. I dug most of it out. Now it's growing from the cracks in the boards, which is kind of cool because it's not taking up space. The sucker plants keep coming up in there. I have to keep cutting them off. Well, I got 2 tomato plants. That's the one that's kind of hurting. It does have 1 or 2 tomatoes. This one has a few, 2 pretty decent sized tomatoes for this time of year. And I got those plants from, I got all of them from my cousins. My favorite cousin on the Blackmer side gave me these 3 and the cherry tomato, and my favorite cousin from the Lodimar side gave me the other one. You know who you are. So if you're one of my cousins that didn't give me a tomato plant, you know your place. So, and in the middle here is all garlic. I have 80 garlic plants total. These are Russian scarlet, I think it's called, Russian something. And it's a red colored garlic. They get big. Mandarin orange. You only get 5 cloves off each garlic plant, but they're huge. So, but which takes a lot of garlic when you go to reseed. So I got to save back, 20, 25 plants, depending on how many I want to seed. But plants, my original garlic, the first year I grew them, when my cousin came out hunting, he brought out garlic bulbs, and we planted 30 plants, 25, 30 plants at the day before we went hunting. And then it snowed, like it was perfect timing. And then winter set in, and it was like cold. So yeah, you plant your garlic in the fall. Little ones there. And it's kind of just grown tiny, skinny ones. I don't know if I'll get big ones again, but we've ate quite a bit of asparagus already. There's 4 plants there. One of them's purple.